Doogie Levine and Daniel Simkins, and they are going to introduce themselves shortly to talk about AI strategies that your business can use now. And I am Katie Uten McMahon. I am the VP of Program here at Entrepreneurs Forever. In case you missed the announcement earlier, we've got a worksheet that I'll drop into the chat again. As people come in, I'll add this another couple times just to be sure that everyone has access to it. But you should be able to open and download a copy of that worksheet for yourself to use during the presentation today. And our agenda is quite simple, straightforward. We're doing, we did the introductions, my introduction just now. I'll let our presenters introduce themselves shortly. We'll talk for just 1 second about who we are as an organization. I'll share with you a couple of upcoming other educational opportunities, and then we'll move into the meat of the program. It's recording now. We'll stop that recording before you ask your Q&A. But if you have clarifying questions in the body of the program, please put them in the chat. So here at Entrepreneurs Forever, our mission is to empower all small business owners to grow thriving businesses that sustain their families and support their communities. We do that primarily through peer groups. And if you are interested in more information about that, please reach out and let us know. I'm going to turn this over to our presenters in 1 second, but before I forget, we've got another couple opportunities coming up to explore other topics deeply. So Deborah's giving an often requested Networking That Works presentation. This is one of the greatest hits, and it's a real, very useful presentation to people who especially don't like networking or have felt like it wasn't effective. And then we've got Building a Business That Someone Would Want to Buy on September 14th. This QR code will take you to our events page, or you can just go to that events page after the presentation today to register for any of these upcoming events. All right. Quick reminder that this does not take the place of professional advice from your own paid advisors. And that's really it from my slides. I'm going to stop the share and turn it over to Doogie and Dan to introduce themselves.
All right, give me 1 second. We'll get our presentation up so we can do that. Zoom that. In the meantime, if everyone doesn't mind dropping kind of who they are, what their business is in the chat, please go ahead and do that. Like, what's your business, your name and your business, put it in the chat just so people can see who's here and we can see who's here as well. That'd be great. Thank you. All right, one more thing. All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Doogie, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering 5 strategies for small businesses, and we're really talking sub 10 employee businesses to prepare themselves to use AI most effectively. So if you came here to learn about prompt engineering, this is not what you're going to learn. What you're going to learn is how to actually set up your business to be ready to use the AI tools that are being developed in the future. All right, so it's not another prompt engineering showcase. Dan, I'll let you go first. Introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Dan Simkins. I'm one of the partners at Ateed and the founders. My background cuts pretty broad. I have a background, I do marketing. I was a custom app developer for about 7.5 years. I've done e-learning, right, adult e-learning courses, and Six Sigma process improvement training. So I've hit the full gambit, which brings me to AI, which sort of touches and gives advantages in all those areas of business.
Awesome. And I'm Doogie. I do not have a tech background at all. And I moonlight as an eForever facilitator. So my background is actually in human development and behavioral science, and along with process and operations improvement for businesses. And because of that background, it's what I'm bringing to what we believe is the future of AI and the future of business, is to do it from a human-first approach. We're going to get into a little bit about that today. So we're going to cover 2 main topics. One, we're going to give you the AI landscape, what we believe how AI is going to impact the business landscape. And then we're going to cover 5 strategies that are practical use cases for you. They go along with the worksheet. So can I get a quick check that everybody has access to the worksheet? You have a copy of it. You made one for your own. Just some head shakes, some thumbs up.
I just
Fantastic. So
that again, yeah.
if not, Katie's going to put it in there again for you. We're going to be going, as we do this presentation, we'll be flipping between these. So that's why I'm going to ask you to have it up, just because you're going to flip between them to do them. If you want to do it on your own scratch piece of paper, if you prefer to handwrite, go ahead and do that as well. So don't feel like you have to put it into your own digital copy. You can also just handwrite your answers or take your own notes and do these same equivalent activities. All right, let's get started. What do you see when you look at this picture? Anyone, you can unmute. This is where I'm going to be calling on you. What does somebody see? Let's go ahead and shout it out, because I can only see about 6 people right now. What do we see?
I see an old-fashioned workplace before computers.
Old-fashioned workplace before computers. Yep, I like it. That's definitely something you would see here. What business do we think this is?
Accounting.
Perfect. This is what accounting looked like up until 1975. Up until 1975, there were about 57,000 accountants in the United States, and mostly they were doing bookkeeping. So, what do you think happened in 1975 that changed the accounting industry? Anybody know?
Computers.
Calculators.
Computers. So, the first privately sourced computer for a company was implemented in 1975, and that was the Ford Motor Company. They were the first one to give a computer to their accounting services. Now, let's fast forward to today. How many accountants do you think exist today?
Yeah, hey,
Hey,
Doogie.
time out a second, Doogie. There's
Put
a
the box over the, I don't know if that's something you have over your slides. There's like a, that did it.
there you go.
Sorry, that was my camera to actually see all your faces. uh,
Good job.
how many
I
how many accountants do we think there are today?
Okay.
Any guesses?
Can you repeat it?
How many accountants do you think there are today in the United States?
Re-give the number from back in the, from the
Yeah,
old.
so in 1975, before the adoption of the computer, there were 57,000. How many do you think there are today?
300,000.
Wow.
57,000.
Cindy, that is very good. So according to like the Certified Public Accounting Association, there's 311,000 certified public accountants as of 2021. Right? So it exploded in the total number. How many bookkeepers, how many CPAs do you think existed before 1957 that now exist today? Countless. And this is because what the computer did was that it allowed accountants to do their main mathematical function faster. And this is what we believe is going to happen with AI. AI is going to allow us to do our core business functions that much faster, allowing us time to grow. So accountants today do so much more than just bookkeeping and mathematics. They're doing tax planning. They're doing financial projections. They're doing business planning. There are some business consulting services. All of that became possible because of one tool. AI, we believe, is going to have that same effect. I want to give you all a little bit of the history of AI. All right. So how many of you believe that AI is actually over 90 years old? How many of you believe that's safe? I know James knows it because he knows some of this history. We've talked about it. Yeah. So AI, the first concepts of AI were developed in Greece, right? So the first idea of the computer, all of that. So AI is not a new concept in humanity. It has been a long existing extrapolation. However, the biggest breakthrough started to happen in the 40s at the same time we started inventing computing. So in 1943, a group of British mathematicians created the first neural networks. Neural networks are essentially maps of the human brain in mathematics. All right? So I want you to keep this in mind because the modern AIs you've been using today are all based on our perceptions of the human brain from 1943. All right. So when you think about what these AIs are doing, they're just copying how our brains function, or we perceive our brains to function. All right. So how many of you have heard of data analytics? Okay, who could tell me what they think the definition of data analytics is, or knows the definition? Anyone?
I'll try.
Yeah.
It's when you look at data and then try to make sense as to what's happening with it. Like when you're mapping.
Mm-hmm. So you're right on the right vein. All it is was taking the guesswork out of decisions. Right? So data analytics is simply applying math to a decision. Right? How do we know we should be attracting that type of client? Well, 57,000 of them walked through our door this year. Probably a good client we should be marketing to. Right? That's simply what data analytics is. And that was developed in the 1960s. It became very popular and common in business in the 1990s. So you started to see it, and then it became very much mainstream today. So most of your businesses have some sort of data analytics tool currently running in your business, regardless if you know it or not. So you operate a POS system, it has data analytics built into it.
Isn't a
Your
lot of
CRMs, if you have a CRM, it has data analytics built into it.
don't a
so
lot of
regardless-
insurance companies use data analytics to underwrite people?
Oh, 100%. People are using it to make decisions and have been using it to make decisions for years. So data analytics is like the first mainstream adoption of AI tools. So when we start talking about AI, we're really starting to talk at the point of data analytics, because that was the first time we asked computers not just to do a singular function, but to make a decision based on a singular function. Okay, and this is really important because this grows into what our understanding of LLMs, ChatGPT, the things you're interacting with today, how they function. In 1980s, the invention of machine learning took place. Anybody know what machine learning is? So it gave us the opportunity to turn analytics and start treating analytics like a child. So what you could do is, like, you train your child to see patterns. Ovens hot, don't touch. Ovens hot, don't touch. Ovens hot, don't touch. The pattern gets born. Same thing occurs in the way we are now teaching those algorithms. If this, do this. If this, do this. If this, do this. That's what machine learning does. So machine learning tools started to be developed in the 1980s. They became very popular in 2010. And that's when businesses started doing it. And you started to see all sorts of different types of automations, like credit card fraud monitoring, right? They would say, if you see a credit card get charged in Zimbabwe, alert the customer, right? That's machine learning. And that's the second time that we, every single day, people have interacted with AI. All right. In 2012, we had the first image recognition. It was called IC. And what this did was the first time you could take a picture and see, what did that allow us to do? It's everything you see on Facebook, the ability that Facebook's able to tag photos with people, that Google Maps is able to route you. That's all because IC was able to create a predictive algorithm. It's actually machine learning to say, this is this. Now, when we're getting into modern AI, the first time you start to see real modern AI emerge is in 1997. And that is when Deep Blue, which is the precursor to Watson. How many have heard of Watson? IBM's Watson? Yeah. So IBM's Watson became really popular because it competed on Jeopardy. So Deep Blue was the precursor to this. And Deep Blue was the first time a AI tool was able to choose what strategy to apply. So it had to make a choice based on intention of the person, the human it was playing against, and pick strategies and execute them. Very similar to how ChatGPT and the LLMs function today. Now, in 2022, you saw the first iteration of ChatGPT come out, which how many of you are using some sort of LLM right now? Some sort of ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini, Loomis, right? These are all LLMs. And this is the first time you see that. And the amazing innovation with this is the first time you could actually have a conversation. It was the first time it was built with the end user in mind. So the common person. Every previous iteration of AI was built with the business in mind first. So it was researcher, business, people. This time what they did was researcher, people, business. And I want you to know, like, that's the transition we're in right now. We are going from researcher to people to business application. And this is a significant difference. All right. And this is why it's really important. The next major thing that allowed AI to start learning about you, you now know how like ChatGPT remembers who you are, what you like, and all of that. That's called RAG. That's the next major innovation. And the biggest innovation you're going to hear about coming up in 2026, if you haven't heard, is called agentic AI. And we're going to get specifically into a strategy to prepare your business for agentics. Okay, that was a lot of history, a lot of background on AI, what we think AI is going to do, and why we think this is the first time we are really going to have a people-first adoption. Any questions on this before I proceed? I know there was a lot, and I thank you all for bearing with me, but I needed to set the stage.
Doogie, can you just repeat the RAG minus AI? What was the main takeaway there?
So it's RAG. So that's what allows it to remember things.
Okay.
Right? That's the simplest way to encapsulate that. Right? It's the memory. It's the ability to recall like previous conversations. I think ChatGPT has the best functionality of this right now. But that model is the best one for that.
I thought the point was there was like literally a mathematical equation. So it's not minus AA plus.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not minus. No. That's a dash.
It's a dash.
That's a dash. RAG, AI. Maybe a plus would have been better. Plus your data.
You see where I go? This is why we.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That does look like a math equation, and I have spoken a lot of math. So RAG just allows you to remember things and interact with your own data sets. So like that's the really important piece of it. And I oversimplified it, and that's on purpose because if I try to get into this stuff too in deep, we would be spending 45 minutes just talking about what that is. But simply, it's the memory and the ability to process your data and apply it. Okay? Very simple. It's like having an expert in your back pocket. Make sense?
I always add with your bias.
You say with your bias? Yeah, that's fair. All right. Dan?
All right, so these are how we're boiling down the 5 strategies. For one is you have to understand your business model. So there does take some analysis, sort of stepping back and looking at your business holistically to determine where AI belongs and where it'll be most impactful. A lot of people are just sort of out there willy-nilling it, or, you know, it's a fun tool or there's all this potential, but they may be spinning their wheels or not really getting the value they think. So there's a strategic element to it. Number 2, people first approach, right? Because, you know, still people can do more than AI. And it's really about empowering people, right? So every business, I don't care how big you are, wants to do more, or it should, because if it doesn't want to do more, like there's a saying that if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So who doesn't want to do more with the people they have? So really you have to think about how your people will be using these tools. And also how to break old habits, because people have old mindsets and they don't want to let go of the older ways, where AI will help them accomplish more if they could just, you know, be more open-minded and sort of adjust their roles. Design processes with automation and AI. So we're going to get more into this later, but it's the idea of how to use AI to scale and become more efficient. So you have to design these processes, right? Because if your people have a function that they don't want to let go, or you as an owner, right? Oh, I've always done it, I'm comfortable here, and I don't want to let go of that. Or maybe if you have a person who's an employee and their identity of their job, they feel like, if you take this away from me, what will I do, right? You have to get them to buy in and understand AI and automation is going to do this, not only more at a faster speed, but more accurately, and trust that. And we're going to have you do things of more value. Number 4, pay attention to the software tools and features. Our tools are getting smarter, and it's a lot, believe me. It gives me a headache sometimes, but all of our tools are getting smarter and faster because all the software wants to compete in their space and be better than their competitors. So you have to keep up with that, right? And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but try to do that so that you can learn when a feature comes out how to adopt it into your business. And number 5 is data is your business superpower. And this is what's beautiful about AI and in the time we live in, is that there's a lot of creativity here, right? AI is so new that the envelope has not been pushed. It is continually being evolved and pushed as we speak. And so there's great opportunity for you and your business spaces to start getting creative with your data and prepare it for an AI world so that you could actually do more than what business ever thought of because you're creative with your data.
Awesome. So we're going to go through all 5 of these. And this is where you get to start taking notes and start putting some actions in place for your business. So before we talk about AI, let me ask you something. How many of you could explain your business model in 1 sentence? And just show of hands. You can do it. Okay, Brian?
So model, not mission, right?
Not business model.
Business model.
1 sentence. All right. Now, that's exactly, like, think about it. If you were the AI, you would struggle with it too. This is why understanding how your business model works and your structure is so important. Before we jump into the worksheet, because I want to make this about you, here are some common business models that you see. Right? These are the common ones. B2B. I sell a product or service directly to a business. Right? B2C. I sell a product or service directly to a consumer. B2B2C, which comes in 2 formats. I do wholesale, which is I sell a product to a business to sell, or a business white labels my product or service. Subscriptions, marketplaces, services. These are basic business models. And what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to the worksheet. All right, so if you want to go and do that, now you can take a look at the first activity on the worksheet. I'm going to leave this up. And I first want you just to go to the first activity, which is checking all of the business models that apply to your business. All right, simply put, check the business models that apply to your business. Any questions on that? No questions? Cool. All right, once you've selected all that apply, I want you to think of the primary one, your best example, your number 1 way that you make revenue, if it's B2B, B2C, a subscription model, whatever it is, the number 1 way. And I want you to think of the top 3 revenue lines in that model. So if you sell a product directly to a customer, and I want you to be as specific as possible. So if you sell, say you have a plumbing business and you sell a inspection for X amount, a drain cleaning for X amount, a singular line, like that's what it is. And I want you just to put that in the revenue section. Then I want you to take your best guess and say what percentage of the revenue does that encompass of your business. So is it 5%? Is it 20%? Is it 60? Is it 80? Whatever it is. And then next, what you'll do is you'll put your biggest challenges associated with that revenue. The biggest things that make it difficult to acquire that revenue line. Is it talking to customers? Is it acquiring customers? Is it fulfilling on them? Be specific, but put that in there. And then I want you to go and think, if AI is great at doing repetition, it's great at solving problems, give yourself a best guess. Yes, it's an opportunity. No, it's not. Or maybe I need more information. All right. Does that make sense? I see some head nods, so that's good. That makes sense? Yeah, everybody clear? Cool. And you can also go back up to the business models. There's some suggestions of where AI can help you under those models. So if you want to think about it as that. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is a great time for clarifying questions.
Can you repeat what we're supposed to do in the AI opportunity column?
Are you talking about in the map your revenue streams?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to put the source of the revenue, right? The percentage that makes up of your total revenue. Then the biggest challenges that are associated with you getting that revenue. So whatever it is, whatever makes it difficult, challenging, the different components. You could have 10 things under each thing. It really could be. And then lastly, you're going to say, yeah, there's a clear opportunity. No, there's not. Or maybe I need more information. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Make sense? Perfect. Anybody else?
Doogie, we do have a question in chat about explaining lead scoring under B2B. Can you explain that?
So lead scoring has a couple different terminology uses, right? So that can be anything from, say you have volume of lead, right? You get lots and lots of different types of leads. Prioritizing them based on qualifications. So like that's what lead scoring typically means, is like we're going to go and say, you know, we get hundreds of leads, but who should we be talking to first? Does that make sense? It's some way to make that kind of decision. You'll see that a lot in like recruitment companies, right? They rank people as they come in, if that makes sense, and then divvy them out to match them.
And Doogie, I just want to say, I think at the top I said put clarifying questions in chat, but this is pretty interactive. So if somebody wants to,
if you want to ask, just ask. Yeah.
We're a small enough group.
Okay. So once you've made kind of your assessment, I want you just to choose one of these areas of your business, one of the areas that's coming to mind, and feel free if you're not ready today to do it, but pick one area, say why this is the area that you want to pursue AI to help boost revenue in your business. And then I want you to create a first step to go in exploring this. What is the first action you're going to take to go learn and do more with AI? Remember, this is all based on your business model. So if you have a B2B, what's one area it's going to help you? Is it going to help you with proposal writing? Is it going to help you with lead acquisition? If you have a catering business, is it going to help you with menu planning? And then what is going to be your first thing to do to go do that? Any questions? Any concerns? Any hesitations?
Just confirm what's supposed to go in the revenue source section. Is that the particular lines of service?
Yeah, so your particular service lines, your specific, your products, be as specific as you can. Don't write the word sales, for instance. You want to put like, we sell bracelets, necklaces, hair products, right? Like those are our 3 biggest sellers. All right, so now that you've completed all this, this is your quick checkup for revenue opportunities based on your business model. If you struggle to understand what's my actual business model, then go back, I know eForever's done a presentation specifically on business models in the past. Really go dig deep to understand how my business operates, what is my business model, and then come back to examine it from what are the challenges within my revenue, because that's where AI can help you. All right. Any questions? For the sake of time, I'm going to move on. All right. The next biggest decision, once you know where AI can interject into your business, is this a person or is this an AI tool? That's the next big set of decisions you're going to make. So what we're gonna decide is this human flexibility versus AI specialization. So humans are great at being a jack of all trades, right? We can all agree humans are great at doing a little bit of everything. Some humans are great at specializing, but most are good at doing pretty much anything. As an entrepreneur, how many of you feel this is you? Like you end up doing a lot of different stuff, right? So humans are great at sales, marketing, operations, you name it. They can adapt in real time, they can build relations, and they can do creative problem solving. Where AI is great, and this is important to remember, AI is great at doing one task. It can do one task, it can do it well. It needs human oversight. What you see go wrong is when you let AI go without humans involved in the mix. It can follow a set of parameters, like do this, then that, then this. Or it can execute a specific function. Calculate everything on this spreadsheet based on Y. Right? That's where this is really great. Any questions on this? On knowing if it should be a human or an AI? Great. We can go straight into our next activity. This one's really good. You're not going to be able to do it all today, but I want you to go back and you're going to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at your business. You're going to take a look at all your tasks you do on a daily or a weekly basis. And what you're going to do is you're just going to make a list of these tasks. We've given you 5 spaces today. Obviously, your business, you probably have 100 different tasks that you do in a given week, maybe 100 different tasks you do in a given day. But I want you to think about how many times per week you do it. You can calculate that in hours. It can be count in any frequency amount, but I suggest doing it in time. And you're going to make a list. Then you're going to you're going to rank that item on a scale of 1 to 5 on how repetitive this is. So 1 meaning it only happens one time, 5 meaning it happens all the time. It's just all the time. Same thing, requires human judgment. 1, this is such an automated thing. Really, I wish the human wasn't involved. 5, oh my God, a human's the only person that could ever make this choice. Then you're going to say, is this a customer facing piece? Yes or no? And then if it's best for AI or best for a human or you're unsure. All right, everyone clear on that? Does anybody have a task that comes to mind for them? Right now, I would rather run through an example that's tangible for somebody.
Prospecting.
Okay. So prospecting is a sequence of tasks, right, Greg? Right? So let's do a specific task within prospecting. Give me a more specific within prospecting.
We'll use networking.
Okay, so physical networking.
Yes.
Great. So is that a highly repeatable? Yes. Where would you rank that on a scale of 1 to 5 on repeatability?
I would give it a 1.
Okay, so it's not very repeatable.
I don't think so.
Okay, great. On a scale of 1 to needs human judgment, 1 to 5, where would you put it?
5.
5. Okay, so it's pretty low scoring right now, you would say, right?
Okay. Doesn't 5 and 1 equal 6? I mean, I'm not sure I'm following you.
No. But what I'm saying is it requires high human judgment and low repeatability.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So it's scoring low on the AI scale. If we're going to do this on an AI scale.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can agree to that.
Yes.
It's customer facing, correct?
Yes.
So would you think this task is best for AI, a human, or you're not sure?
I say human.
Okay, I would agree with you. I would say networking is going to be a function that is always going to be a human function. So that's what you're doing. You're just going to run through different tasks and you're going to look at it like that. Does that all make sense? And I want you to be specific. So you know how Greg started with prospecting. Prospecting is a large sequence of different activities, but go kind of the next level down to networking, to LinkedIn messaging, to online marketing, all the different components of it. Go to those pieces and then run through that same analysis.
Hey, Doogie, I had a question.
Yeah, James.
Networking, cold calling, prospecting, they're all processes, okay? Isn't it true that I could involve AI in the process? I mean,
So yes.
okay.
To answer your question shortly, yes. We'll go into that in a second. In Agentics, that's where we're going to talk about that a little bit. But yes, I could say in our prospecting, if I were to go to like the subtasks within prospecting, like the action of finding me different prospecting events, that's a great way, that's a great place for AI, right? That's a great thing an AI agent can go do, which is find you AI. But the way I was reading what Greg was saying was the physical attendance of AI, of networking, not the finding me networking events task. Right, Greg?
Yeah,
I
but
read
I'm
that
also
situation
thinking
correctly?
while I'm networking, right? AI might have helped me build my story or my elevator pitch when I'm there networking.
100%. 100%. I think when we start breaking it down to that level of subtasks, like James pointing out, that's where it gets really valuable and that's where it gets tricky. So if I would even say James is at the right level of thinking for this activity. Get down to the subtask level.
Yeah, and even
Of
a
it.
strategic tip for that, if we're talking about advice, what I would recommend is before you go to a networking event and you want to use AI to help you be strategic, give it the detail you want. Maybe say there is the president of a certain company or there's a person in a certain role that I want to introduce myself to. Give me some strategies on how to approach and what to discuss with this problem, this person to engage with them, right? So if you can give them some intel on that person, interests, what they do, who they represent, it'll help you do that. Should we just pivot to this, Doogie?
No. I accidentally clicked ahead for a second. All right. So this activity, I'll take one or two more examples if anybody wants to share, but this is not an activity we expect you to finish today. We just wanted to show it to you as a way to make a decision. And as you'll see, each of these strategies is a way to make a decision about how to incorporate AI into your business. You'll see the scoring rubric at the bottom. Once you're done and you've gone through and you looked at like 100 different tasks and you've broken it down and you've done research, the ones that are top scoring are the ones that you're going to put as areas for your business to pursue. So you'll put the task there, the estimated current time you spend on it. So in James's example of Greg's example of networking, he might spend an hour every single week trying to research good networking communities to go to. So that's his target is less than 1 hour a week. So with the AI solution we're going to try to find an AI solution that can save us and get that down to like 5 minutes, which is what that should actually take with AI. Does that make sense? And then once again, you'll do the same thing. Here's my first step to explore that, which I'll give you all the trick now, which is go to an LLM and say, hey, I want to create an AI solution around this problem. Here's what it is. Here's how much time I'm spending on it. Here's what my results I'm looking for. Help me out. All right. Now we're going to get into what's going to become huge in 2026. You'll see ChatGPT, OpenAI just released their Agentics recently in the last few weeks, and it's already got some funny things. But let's get into agentic AI.
All right, so I'm going to give sort of an overview to help you grasp the mentality of what agentic AI is going to be. So one of the things you can see what we're trying to get you to put your mind shift, because this is really a mind shift. People who are intimidated by AI are trying to understand the technology. What we're saying as business owners is don't worry about how it works under the hood. Think about it as a business owner. So what we're saying is you have to break down what people do, what tasks need to be accomplished in order for not only your business to run, but what could it be done to run better. And so with agentic AI, what they're doing is, and Doogie hit on it earlier, is that AI is good at doing one task, right? But so what they're saying is you can assign an AI agent to do that one task. But what we're trying to get you to exercise is, everyone here does multiple tasks in a day. Everyone who has employees, each employee does multiple tasks in a day. Think of it as an agentic AI as an employee or an assistant. So start thinking through, what are some repetitive tasks that I need to do that I would like to offload to an agent, right? And so to James's example, it's, hey, agent, I want you every week, like clockwork, to give me networking events that are coming up the following week, or the first, at the end of every month, give me the next month, like do this research for me. So start breaking your mind down. So what's also interesting about, right, you have an army of agents. And that's why people are going to be able to do more, because think of everyone having their own assistant, but not only one, they can have an army of assistants. And then here's another thing I want you to start thinking of is, how many tasks can be done by agents? Because think about this. It's going to get to the point where AI agents will work together. So AI agent will work for, let's say AI agent goes and finds networking event. And then it says, here's a list of AI events, and it passes it to a second agent. And then that agent's tasked with trying to find out who's attending it and what value, these people might have to your business. And then it's going to create that. And then it could pass it to another agent to say, give me strategies. So, right, you have 3 agents that might deliver on a scheduled event, right? And they're executing these however you set them. It's going to say, you're going to go to this event and this person should be there. And here's some strategies of how to meet these people. So again, don't think of the tech, think about what actions your business needs to take to succeed.
Awesome. So as you can see here, this is an example on the screen of a hybrid workflow. So what that means is it's a mix of automation and AI tools and humans. And most agent relationships, AI agent relationships and AI solutions are going to be a combination of a human and a tool to perceive and do a function. So in this case, the AI workflow is customer inquiry. AI does the qualifying. So what typically you would see in like a service-based business is used to have a human on the phone that would ask, tell me about your business, how much revenue, blah, 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 like 5 or 6 key questions. That can now be done through AI automation, which then allows it to go straight to the human when they're a good client because they answer the questions correctly. They go to a human, the human's more likely to close, and then the AI can do the automated follow-up for you, specific to that customer relationship. Whereas currently you have automation tools, machine learning tools that can send out email campaigns, they can do things like that. But we're talking about getting to the level that they're specific to that unique prospect. And that's an amazing superpower. So what you're going to do now is in the third worksheet, this is it's just a simple process mapping activity. That's the first one. Pick any process in your business. Sales is a great process. Prospecting is a great process. Manufacturing or the assembly of a service, or those are great processes. And all you're going to do is make a simple step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, etc. Does that all make sense? Okay. And you can literally write it down on a sheet of paper. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, however many steps are in your process. Does anybody want me to break down a process for them right now? Like a process they're thinking of. I might be able to assist them just to give an example. Different than an agentic one.
Dude,
No?
how
Everybody's
about
good?
like a lead qualification?
Yeah, okay. So lead qualifications are very good. This is actually the example of it, right? So you're getting something like the customer clicks on the inquiry button, the inquiry form, they call you, whatever it is, right? How are customers, prospects getting to you right now? Amy?
This is a great question, Doogie. Well, in theory,
In
it's a
theory.
it's a combination, there's word of mouth networking, of course. Our current email marketing is just getting back on track, social media, and
Okay, so they're doing the action of like actually calling you or emailing you?
I would say it's, yeah, I mean, I would say it's email, and like downloading something or coming to a free session or something like that.
Okay.
Is
So
it
they
email
came to something, you've captured that initial interest. Let's just call it you captured interest. Does
Uh-huh.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So from captured interest, you then are either emailing them or getting on a phone call with them or a video call or something, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. In that first experience, you're asking them a certain set of questions that you have prepared?
Yeah, there's also like an online quiz that I had tried to automate, although I feel like people don't see or use that.
Okay, so that's still like lead capture, right? Because
Okay.
you're using that as a lead capture tool, not a qualification tool. Or it's actually a hybrid tool, but either way, you're going to ask them your set of questions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's actually the lead qualification is that set of questions,
Oh, okay.
right? So that's the first time you're qualifying. Everything else is interest. This is going to tell you, yes, they're worth pursuing or no, they're not worth pursuing as a client.
But is that something that you feel like that can be automated, or are you suggesting
100%.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
100%. That's an area where AI is already doing huge thing because like a lot of companies are using very simple qualification before it's worth it to get on the phone and actually having a 1 hour
Right.
conversation with them.
So what
But-
did you say about my current quiz that people aren't necessarily seeing or using? What did you say about that? That's not
So that seems like it's a hybrid qualification tool. I mean, it just seems like it's an information capture tool right now. Like it just means like you're using it purely to capture their contact information so you can speak to them. Which is fine to use a quiz like
well,
that, but regardless, what you do is like the next thing is you'd have that conversation with them. You would decide yes, they're worth pursuing, no, they're not. If yes, you would schedule a longer conversation or the next steps to get them into the sales pipeline, which is either giving them a proposal or whatever it is, correct? That's your lead prospect, something along those lines.
sorry, I'm not getting something because so our attempt, I'm not saying it's fully functional, but I believe the quiz is automated because if they don't reach a certain score, then I would just redirect them to the general services page or, schedule a shorter call, see if there's a way I can help them. I mean,
Oh, okay.
but I think well, you called it hybrid, so maybe the quiz is hybrid. I'm sure I can do it better, but
So that's actually sorting your leads. So that's actually you're
Sorting.
using automation already in your specific example.
yeah, I'm like half-ass automated right now, which means I'm not fully automated, which means it's not really working for me.
Here's the thing. The point we're trying to get to is with these mapping is that you want to put down all the steps. And if it is like yours, Amy, where you have like branches,
Yeah.
because basically yours is saying like my lead types start to branch at the quiz. Right? Like that's kind of what you're saying is like one lead type goes to general services, a better lead type goes to here.
I think so. I mean, I think I have to look at how
Okay.
I'm doing things,
Regardless,
but
you
yeah.
still want to put that down as a step by step. And if you see yourself like you what you just pointed out is here's a problem in my system. What we're getting at is the first thing you have to do is fix that problem and then think about where an AI can get into. Right? Where an AI can actually help enhance this is to understand that process by having it documented. Does that make sense?
To understand that process by what about a document?
Like this process, your whole lead capture system, like your whole lead management, lead pipeline, your process here, your step by step of they come from these different lead sources, they take the quiz, they get sorted if they're good or bad. Good goes here, bad goes here. Then we talk to them, then we sell them the product. Like that all needs to be documented. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yep.
Got it. Sandra, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to, mine is similar to Amy. So I have a questionnaire which is Legion, and
Mhm.
and then it breaks them up into four spaces, and we can help them in either one. So that if they score and we tell them you need help and they contact us, then we also do our pre-qualification. And so we look for a certain income. We look for
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna suggest. Why don't we save this for the Q&A at this point?
okay.
Because we're getting into specific individual cases. I just wanted to do one so people could see like the workflow.
Okay. I just
We'll
want to
come
know
back to
is
this in the
that
Q&A.
I just want to know if that qualification piece that you're talking about, is that where I can have AI go in and say, if this is that, then no, if this is it, then yes.
Yeah, I mean, potentially yes. We'd have to know more information, but yes. I mean, uh, a good CRM can already do that without an AI.
Okay.
All right. So once you map out your process and you have it understood, the way the rest of this worksheet is you're going to go and look at every single step. You're just going to evaluate this was can it be automated? Just automated, right? Automation means, like, for instance, in the case of Amy, she already has it automated, right? The quiz sorts them, redirects one group here and another group here. That's an automated decision. No human is in the loop in that decision, right? So you're going to say, is it automated? H, should it stay human? Right? Like the final sale, Amy probably wants to keep that human. Or is it a combination? Would I use AI to assist with me in that automation process? Does that make sense? I want it to be something similar to this AI agent you see up on the screen, where the AI is assisting in the human workflow. Got it? Does that all make sense? Then you'll
Yep.
give a reason why, and I would like you to go and just literally, you can Google search for resources that can do this.
Yeah, and another thing is this is why we were talking about that first bullet with strategy, because AI doesn't fit everywhere. And sometimes people think it can fit everywhere, and it doesn't necessarily, because there's just good old-fashioned automation and tools that are available to automate certain things. So that's why you need to be very strategic and understand where it really helps. Because if AI doesn't help, but you think it should, you'll go down a rabbit hole and burn energy that's just not worth it.
All right. So we're starting to run out of time already. The way the rest of this worksheet is, you redesign your new workflow, and then you start implementing it, right? Time saved metrics, all of that. All right. I'm going to do this quickly for the next one because I really want to just get to data because it's the biggest and most important component. And Dan's going to walk you through data. Just go. Our fourth strategy is pay attention to the tools you've already purchased. If you're using a CRM, you have a POS system, you have an email system, you're already getting access to AI tools left and right, from data analytics to modern LLMs. You already have access to it. Honestly, and there's an assessment at the bottom of the worksheet to go through and just look to see if you have access to different tools. Just see if you have them. Before you go and feel you need to reinvent the wheel, or you feel stressed out by like, oh, where am I going to find this solution? Just go and check. All right. I was going to jump to those, but for the sake of time, we're not going to do that. But I'm doing this really quickly. Like, just go and check. All right, Dan. Dan, you're muted. You're muted.
There it is. Okay, so yeah, so data is your business superpower. And so we want to help you understand this, because data is, AI is giving us more power into our data than we've ever realized. And so I know we have the idea that there's AI integration specialists. These are people who integrate the tools, and AI prompt engineering, which everyone's becoming prompt engineers. So it's important. I mean, some are very specialized, but it's the idea of how can we leverage your data in the business. So go to the next slide. And so what is data, right? So it's more than just spreadsheets and numbers. You have to start thinking about that, right? Because, and here's another sort of perspective I want you to understand in this talk we're giving, is what you're designing, right? So think about AI. A lot of us are thinking, this is such an impressive tool. What can it not do, right? And there are limitations of it, but it's evolving so fast. that its potential keeps expanding. So what we're trying to get you to do is think of your business in a way that if you're going through these exercises and these worksheets, like Doogie's saying, we're helping you think this through. What we're saying is design the most ideal business plan you can, right? And find out what you can automate, and then go find the tools that will do that. But see, if there are tools that can't quite do it yet 100%, it doesn't mean that tool might not exist in 6 months to a year. But the fact that you've gone through this mental exercise and got to that point, you'll recognize it. So again, when we're talking about the AI agent, right, we're giving data to the idea of networking. I have this person in this role, and I want tips on how to introduce. These are data points that you're entering into that element, that AI agent, that you don't just store in a spreadsheet. No one says, here's the date, this is the event, this is the, so almost start thinking about, are there other things of, is there other data points that you could be tracking? And again, it's going to require creative thinking, but you'll get there with some mental exercise. Go ahead, go to the next slide, because again, I'm trying to be, okay, again, this kind of ties into that. What do you want to capture, right? So there's customer data, which we're all used to. Names, contact info, purchase history, preferences, right? We're starting to get into the softer data skills. You know, you can get into buying habits, buying personalities, right? Is that stuff you want to start storing in your spreadsheets? Because if you start asking AI to give you analysis, that's going to help your data, this AI, give you better results. Sales and revenue. Is there any other aspects of buying patterns, right, in there? Operations, your job timelines, inventory usage, service records. Is there anything else that maybe a human would speak to another human as they're doing the role? Is there data there to capture? Employee metrics and marketing, right? The idea of marketing, which is, that's where a lot of this AI is being led. So all of the marketing tools that we're using today just keep getting smarter and smarter by the month, it feels like. Next. And so where to keep it, right? And so again, this is part of what we're trying to help you design, a CRM system, right? CRM systems aren't full-blown AI as you would think of as a chat GPT, but there's so much automation that you can do there. But remember this, if you can get, and this is the challenge, and again, I'm coming from my marketing background, there's a lot of people out there that have CRMs, but they haven't built it to their ideal state to run their business. It's almost like they buy it, they use it partially, and maybe they're getting some things, but to fully integrate or to set up a CRM system, to fully create marketing campaigns and automated emails and all that, it takes time to set up that house. But here's what we're telling you, it is important to set up that house. Why? Because a lot of CRM systems integrate with other tools. And if someone creates an AI tool that's going to revolutionize your business or some aspect of marketing or sales or something, have your CRM house in order so that you can plug it into the AI and it will actually give you results that are going to be meaningful for you. Because if you plug in weak, incomplete data to an AI engine, it's going to give you weak, incomplete answers. So again, idea of what tools you're using, use them to their fullest, because they're going, as they get smarter and as you integrate tools, you're going to be able to do more with it. So clean your house today so that tomorrow, because if someone revolutionizes with an AI tool, it's going to look at your data and say, okay, what do I have here? And if your data is a mess, it's going to give you messy answers. What's next in this slide? Yeah, organization. So that, again, same thing. Make your data consistent. Make it searchable, right? Clean it up. Make sure, again, if it's in a CRM, if it's in a spreadsheet. And that's the beauty of AI, is that it almost doesn't matter where your data is stored as long as it's organized, clean, up to date. Because then you can connect AI agents to that data source, whatever it may be, and get good results. So that's very crucial. So if you feel you have messy data, start working on it today, and also start implementing habits of collecting and storing that data accurately. That's, again, as we all know as business owners, you have to sort of get your act together as best you can to make sure your ducks in a row so that you're doing things right. Next slide.
Before we go into the like concluding slides and get to the Q&A, the final worksheet that we provided you is an assessment tool to see where you are in terms of your data storage and your data systems. So it is a simple checklist, step by step, data by data, point go ahead and find where you have data strengths and data weaknesses to help you start building what every business needs that they've never had before, which is a data plan. So most small businesses have never thought about a plan around information for the sense of just having information to organize information. They've thought about information in terms of how do I just use it? But every business's wealth is going to be in their ability to collect, use, store, and maintain information. That's where the future wealth of businesses is going to be, because the team that has better information is going to make faster and better decisions in a world of AI. So this tool is to help you do that. The first section just is a checklist. Yes, no, I am storing this data, yes or no. The next is just a quick evaluator on each of the key things. Checklist, give you some information. And lastly, you end with a priority list. Okay, you're just going to create a list of what are the issues with my data and my goal is to fix it by. All right, and the final worksheet is worksheet 5, which is a 30-day plan. It's a do-it-yourself plan. All right, that's what it's designed for. It's all-encompassing with these worksheets. So you go back, you complete all the worksheets, then you do your 30-day plan to help get your business AI ready. If you don't want to do that, we offer an AI readiness tool, an assessment directly through us at Ateed. Usually we charge $4,997 for this. And we come in, we evaluate all of your information, all your storage, all of your processes. We find out where you have human opportunities versus AI opportunities, and we evaluate and produce for you an actionable roadmap to self-implement your data resources and AI implementation. Because I'm an E4Ever facilitator, I understand all the businesses here, what we're offering is a special deal for all of you. We're taking $1,000 off. Just wanted to let you know. So anybody who's E4Ever that comes through and you register or you book a call with us, you'll get that entry deal for this. It takes approximately about 4 weeks to complete a full assessment of the business, depending on the size. If you want, there's the link. You can book a call with us. And now let's do what you all came here for, which is get your questions answered.
And I am going to go ahead and stop the recording so that these questions are not